It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murray, who's gonna live forever. He's gonna learn how to fly high. He feels it coming together. People will see him and cry. He's gonna make it to heaven. Light up the sky like a flame. He's gonna live forever. Baby, remember his name. Remember. Hey there, Merman.
Oh, is it my turn now?
It's always
Mr. Sinatra?
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Oh, baby. Love me the singing for Myrrh. Well, thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageyyc. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And you know what? We'll watch it. Now, let's get to raging. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Good segue. Hey, Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
We're streaming. Yeah, we're streaming. And doing what?
We're streaming, Jim.
Even Murray did some streaming on the weekend.
Nope.
Oh, apparently not. You poopy. We're not singing for you next week for that, Murray.
Well, please tell me that's true.
Yeah, we'll always sing for Murray. Won't we, Brycey?
Maybe.
All right.
All right, so we started by streaming a movie on Shudder.
Dum-dum.
It is an animated film called The Spine of Night.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. The Spine of Night is an animated epic fantasy film set in a magical land that has witches and violence and nudity. And in short, this film definitely was not made for me. The story of a witch who has special powers with the help of some sort of boa made of some purple plants that apparently if you are wearing it, you have to be naked. Although later in the story, a dude started out naked with the purple plants around his neck, but then later he was wearing clothes, so I don't really know what was going on. And there are like people dissolving and limbs and heads are being chopped off. And through it all, I was bored to tears. I am really not into this kind of thing, so I kind of feel bad giving it the rating that I have to give it, but for me, this was a not at all made for me rage.
Well, isn't that cute? Murray, you should have seen this.
No, I watched the first 5 minutes. I realized it was animated.
And it obviously wasn't for you either.
I don't watch cartoons.
Oh, there we go. Well, this movie was made, obviously, exactly for me.
Yes.
So they pulled us in with the promise of ultra-violence, which they delivered on. But the true gift was the hand-drawn rotoscope animation they gave us, done through computer animation? What? This brought back to me my younger days, seeing all the Ralph Bakshi films that I loved so much. As I've said many times, I'm not one for nostalgia, but this exceeds all new animation by far, bringing us the beauty of the hand-drawn past with the technology of the now. Now, I had some issues as the film started, as I questioned the need in what I thought was objectifying the witch by having her be nude. But, as we find out as the film progresses, they evenly show male nudity who are operating as a witch. So I guess witches like to be nude, I guess? And I'm okay with that. I love fantasy film, and this tells a new and interesting tale of horror, fantasy, magic, humanity, and its flawed nature, and of course, the beautiful art, ultra-violence, and of course, some nudity for all to enjoy, except for Bryce. I love the story. This resurgence of animation that's not Disney, for a change, kept it coming, and keep it coming, because Daddy love. It was Mondo. I loved it.
Yeah, it's not for me, man.
Well, you know that it's important that you know what's not for you.
Yeah, I feel bad giving a range because I'm sure that there's lots of people that enjoy this type of thing that would really like it.
I'm sure there are plenty of fanboys and nerds out
that's
there
me.
who probably loved it.
I just did not get it. And that is what it is.
We know this about you. You are not a fantasy fan. Like
I
you do
hate
not.
fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy is like your least favorite genre, and fantasy is one of my favorites if it's done right. And this was done very right for me. And I love that old animation, the hand drawn rotoscope that they have.
It looked cool. I'll give you that.
The colors, the color palette, the drawing, it was fantastic. I know it's not your type of movie.
Yep.
Murray, I'm disappointed in you. There was nudity. I thought we could have kept you in, and a promise of ultra violence.
Dude, I watch 11 movies a week. That's all
And you
I'm gonna say.
can't watch some nude and ultra violent
It
cartoons.
was a cartoon. I don't watch cartoons.
Okay, not at all. Hey,
Nope.
not one.
Not even The Simpsons.
Have you ever seen one in your whole life?
When I was a child,
Did you watch Toy Story?
first one.
There you go.
first two.
So Murray is now
Like 20 years
officially
ago.
a liar.
20 years ago. The last 15 years I have.
Liar.
Okay, so he only doesn't watch them in the last 20 years.
Yes, since I'm a grown-ass adult.
Yeah. But they had boobies in it for adults.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all we streamed.
That's it.
Now we went to the cinemas.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I love this music. We got to see Run, Woman, Run by director-writer Zoe Lee Hopkins, and stars a bunch of amazing Aboriginal people. It was great to see films with Indigenous voices, music, and all Indigenous cast. I loved seeing Dakota Ray Hebert in the role of Beck. In this, her humor and realness in this, in my opinion, role were really natural and made me fall in love with her character. Also, big fan of Lauren Cardinal. In anything, it's always great to see him. A lot of the humor hit its mark through the beginning of this film, but as the film progressed, it lost its humor and moved into a serious family drama. The issue I have is the transition to the family drama seemed too abrupt and not at all natural. The story is not new or that original, but seeing Dakota Ray Hebert drive to the mailbox time and again was fun and satisfying. I really liked the first third of this film, but the last 2/3 was at times rushed and hard to digest. Another issue, as you all know, is my hatred of memory flashback montages, and there was quite a few memory flashback montages in this film. Film was a little bit too Hallmark moment for my liking. Funny was pretty funny. Dakota Ray Hebert was awesome in my opinion for this film for the most part. I didn't hate it. It was a meh.
Well, I could not disagree more.
Oh no.
Apparently, we missed this gem during the festival last fall,
Yes, we did.
which is a shame because I absolutely loved this film.
Ooh, there you go.
First off, the main character was charming and funny. She was like
Wait a minute, that's exactly what I kind of said.
She
So
was
you
like
couldn't-
yeah, but that's where you stopped. She was like a female version of me. From her love of Boston cream donuts, to driving to get the mail. Yes, I do that too. To her pessimistic and sardonic wit. I have not taken up running, nor will I ever do that. But this character was very endearing to me, which led me to cheer her on. The story was funny, sad, heartwarming. I also loved the proud representation of the First Nations people, which I also belong to. And who wouldn't want Lorne Cardinal as a dad? I sure do. Except we're the same age, I think. One of the nicest guys I ever met, by the way. This was a freaking mondo.
All right. All right, Bryce, Mr. Party Pooper.
I sense he doesn't agree.
This is the all rage episode for Bryce, I think.
I think it is too.
The film did not resonate with me at all. I did not get why anyone was reacting the way they were to each other. The humor fell flat, and I really did not like any of the characters. The romantic angle was head-scratching. Whether I'm talking about the daughter's romance or the father's romance, it does not matter, as they were both equally unrealistic nonsense. Every scene is contrived, and nothing in this lands. And her spirit coach made little sense at all, and how could he possibly help her with her sports bra? I did not get that or anything else in this film. This was a rage.
So, is it because you don't often shop for sports bras?
He's a spirit. Why did he call him into the dressing room?
Why not?
And then said, like, keep your eyes closed. Like, what? Is that funny?
It was kind of funny, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There are ghosts out there too. They
help people with sports bras?
no, but they sometimes
How's he gonna help her?
Why not?
they're able to
How?
do things on the physical plane.
Because he's...
You know, they whip up like
'Cause he's an
cabinets and
athlete.
stuff. Like they have some powers.
He probably had to wear, like, I'm thinking for him, they didn't have sports bras back in the turn of the century in the 1900s, but they probably would have had something that could keep his boys not hitting his leg, because, you know, similar concept. He didn't have a bra, but he had some kind of tighty-whitey to keep his balls, you know, from flopping around like she had to keep. So he kind of knew a little bit about athletics.
Yeah, I'm done contributing to this conversation.
Well, that's too bad. Well, apparently we were completely at odds through that
Apparently
film.
we were.
This could be a great episode, people. Stand by
I don't think
as
it will
this projection towards the end of our podcast is we're gonna disagree on every single thing.
I'm pretty sure we are. Starting with the next thing, which you thought you heard rage before. Just wait till the next movie. The Lost City, which was the only major movie coming out this past weekend, with Sandy Bullock and Channing Tatum. A reclusive romance novelist on a book tour with her cover model gets swept up in a kidnapping attempt that lands them both in a cutthroat jungle adventure. I was looking at the anger on Bryce's face.
It's even more exciting seeing it when we watch
Yeah.
movies together.
So this movie was the very definition of a popcorn movie. You know when you get a bag of popcorn at the concession, you forget to tell them to layer the butter? Same thing with this film.
That's why Bryce didn't
First
get it.
half was light, bouncy, fun, highly entertaining. Sandy and Tatum had some nice comedic moments, and Brad Pitt was freaking brilliant. Unfortunately, the laughs ran out halfway through, much like the popcorn at the bottom of the bag. Then all you're left with is the salty, greasy mess and a few unpopped kernels. It was a fun movie, just a meh. That's the nicest thing you're going to hear about it.
Murray.
I was going to give it a mondo?
I'm disappointed. Okay.
I like action movies.
I know.
I'm not afraid.
I know.
All right. Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum star in a film that desperately wants to be funny but fails miserably. The story of a writer of romance adventure novels finds herself in a jungle adventure of her own as she is kidnapped to translate some ancient language to find some treasure in a lost city, and it was as bad as that sounds. In fairness, I laughed twice. In its 1 hour and 52-minute runtime. That is one laugh for every 56 minutes. that is not good for a comedy. The fact that Daniel Radcliffe is in this should at least save it on some level, but it does not. I guess it just goes to show that even someone with superior comic timing such as Radcliffe cannot make a bad script entertaining. Bullock and Tatum sleepwalk through every misadventure. Brad Pitt shows up early on as well, and fails to deliver in a brief cameo that should have been able to write itself for at least a few laughs. And yet, I sat there stone-faced and unamused. The movie delivered on half of what it promised as light entertainment, and while it was definitely light, it definitely was not entertaining. It was a formulaic, Romancing the Stone ripoff, and it was a rage.
Big surprise.
Nice.
This was awful.
Very nice.
Says you.
So, every generation has its action-adventure romance comedy film with a damsel in distress and a macho dude there to save the day with the power of comedy and irritation. From Romancing the Stone to African Queen, and then even more fantastigorical, we have The Bounty Hunter. Right, Bryce?
No.
Okay. But finally, we get the Sandy Bullock and the always sexy Channing Tatum. But most importantly, we get my man, Danny Ratty, in his first supervillain role.
Not true.
Who was a supervillain with what else?
He was in Now You See Me Too.
He was a supervillain?
He was a villain in that.
He wasn't a supervillain.
Well, he was rich and he was a villain.
He was just a villain.
He was the same character.
He's a supervillain.
Whatever.
As with mostly all rom-com action-adventure flicks, as previously mentioned, the plot and story were terrible and predictable, but the awesomeness of Brad Pitt and Danny Ratty, along with the total sexiness and funniness of Tatum's, were pretty hilarious for most of the first half. In fact, I would say the humor in this film pretty much hit the mark every time. The problem was there wasn't enough of it.
True.
And especially not in the last half. I found myself laughing a lot and still think Tatum's is a great actor and can't wait to see his next film. I just want it to be I just want it to be a drama and not an action. And Danny Ratty, there is nothing you can't do aside from a South African accent. It's true. It was a meh, because I did laugh quite a bit as the writing surrounding the humor always seemed to work.
What?
Yep. The story was stupid.
Yeah.
And there was a million times that they didn't get it right.
Yeah.
But it was funny. So yeah, it's a meh. It was funny. I laughed. Brad Pitt coming in was awesome.
Exactly.
How he goes away was funny. We don't want to spoil anything.
I almost
how he
missed
went away.
the end credits because the credits rolled and I had to pee.
There you go.
I was out the door and all of a sudden I heard the music stop and I turned around like, oh, there's more stuff.
You don't know spoilers though, Mur.
No, but there is end credits, so don't leave as soon as the credits roll.
Yeah, don't leave as soon as the credits roll. I thought that they had good chemistry. I know.
Yes.
This is another one that isn't a Bryce movie, but there was the comedy hit for me. I liked it.
So freaking bad.
Some of the funny things that we just have to recap, just so people know, was Tammy Butt stuff was very funny.
That was one of the laughs.
The cheese wind tunnel was pretty damn funny.
No,
that was super funny. Brad Pitt and Tatum's was always funny. He was funny the whole time.
No.
Sucking on his back like a Jamba Juice.
Yep.
No.
I was just surprised you didn't give it a Mondo, Mur. That's what disappointed me. I wanted us to disagree on every movie.
We already discussed it when the movie was over. It's like we both agreed that the first half of the movie was awesome. The second half was just as awesome as the first. That would have been a Mondo. But it kind of took a dip and it just got too serious.
It became too much of a drama.
Yeah, it got too serious.
It got too serious.
I wanted to laugh the whole way through, and
we should have.
Yeah, they made it serious halfway through. So
what laughs?
It was funny. There was a lot of funny.
See, you have no joy in your soul.
That's right. You're soulless or joyless, one of the two. We've already discussed this. Everybody knows that you're the evil one in the podcast.
Yes, we all know that.
Evil. You're the evil one who has. Didn't you say you were something before? Something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We were talking about who was the most annoying. No, that was me.
Yeah, you're,
And then
you're
who's-
definitely the most annoying.
And then who's the most Murray-ish? That's Murray.
I'm the angriest, but
Yeah.
I'm angry in life.
But he's
period.
angry in life, but not on the podcast.
Not when
And
it
then
comes to movies.
you were something. But I can't remember what.
can't remember either.
You were the most evil.
Bryce.
I'm pretty sure it was evil.
He was the most Bryce of the three of us.
the most evil Bryce.
Yeah, that was a bad movie.
It was okay. It was a man.
No.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who disagree with you.
I would, you know what, Murray, we've talked about
And
this though.
they
It
would
doesn't
be
matter what everybody else's opinions
I'm
are.
just
It matters
saying.
what our opinions
Out of the millions
are.
of people, you can't take what one person says and take that as the
The
truth.
gospel.
Unless it's
No,
me.
you can't.
Or me. Or you, Murray, in your mind.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I agree with the multitudes. That's just
And the last movie, which we have to talk about,
yes, we do.
which is kind of funny, I want to say, before you start talking
The
about
movie's
it.
kind of funny.
No, the movie's not funny at all. But what is funny about it is that Bryce got to see this last
Yes.
year at the festival.
Yes.
And now it's out in regular rotation.
Yes.
And Murray and I hadn't seen it.
No.
So that's why we're talking about it,
Yes.
because it's now out.
Yes.
And we're going to give it a little bit more of its due.
There you go.
Because Bryce gave it went back and listened to our podcast. You gave it a 1-sentence review.
There you go.
Did you? What was my one sentence?
I can't remember. It was something pretty good.
It was positive though, wasn't it?
It was. Let's
Wasn't.
maybe see if you can stretch
See
it
if you
out
can
for
remember
longer
it.
than a sentence.
Not much because I saw it so long ago.
Well, you should have come and watched it again with us.
There you go.
I had stuff I
Stuff
had
to do. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
He had to watch
His life is so hard.
some of the other terrible movies we made him
Yeah.
watch this week.
All right, so The White Fortress is a sort of dark fairy tale mixed with a coming-of-age film. It introduces us to two young folks that are both looking to escape from their current situations for very different reasons. In each other, they find the solace they are looking for, but just like in real life, things are never quite that simple. Setting the story in post-war Sarajevo adds another layer to the tale. The performances from the two young leads are quite effective, as the desperation they feel is well conveyed. It is a story that has been told many times before, as the unhappy rich girl gets involved with the boy from the wrong side of the tracks.
West Side Story.
But in this case, it feels a little less contrived, like West Side Story.
Nice.
It is quite a powerful film, and it is definitely worth checking out. It's a meh.
Okay then.
I feel so much joy right now that I finally get to give a film a meh instead of raging about, like, man, did we watch a
I'm
bunch
sorry.
of crap
I'm
this
sorry.
year.
Is
or this week.
our podcast called Film Man?
I don't
It's
think
No.
not, but it was this.
It's
is-
called
this
Film
is-
Rage.
I feel a little happy.
I'm so happy that you
'Cause
got to give
after
so
those-
much rage this week.
Three I had to review, or it just made me so. They were all. They weren't just bad. They were like they made me angry. Other than the first one,
I
which I
love
just
it.
didn't get.
I love it that you get angry though. That's kind of why you're so endearing to us.
Anyways, yeah, it's worth checking out. It's mad though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me tell you what I think of this, because it could be completely different. Although my comment about it being a strong nursery rhyme overtones and symbolism through dogs and wolves on who and what each of our two love interests are is very similar to your nursery rhyme. The film is very slow building and done very well as the story unwinds. As it continues to build to the end of the film, it does a good job not letting us in any of the characters' true selves, as their cards are held, for the most part, very close to their chest. I really liked how the story slowly comes clear, and the ending leaves you with a strong sense of what happens to our male lead, but it's never really completely telling. And for this, I really appreciated it. I liked the canine symbolism throughout the film and the tie to Red Riding Hood. And through the filming style, it was varied and it was very creative. For the most part, I kind of really liked this film a lot. I felt that the biggest gaps were the clarity and the muddiness through the middle of the film, and the full character developments of the characters at times through the middle part of it. It was like they kind of kept on the stream, and then it was like they kind of added in other characters that you didn't get enough to see them about. So it was the character part, and you know, for me, character is everything. And so the two characters I think were done really well,
Yep.
but the peripheral characters weren't built enough to make this. I don't say this many times, but I wish it might have been a bit longer and a little bit more focused, because I did feel it was draggy through the middle. I really liked it. I liked the creative storytelling, but not loved it. So yeah, it was also a meh for me. Wait a minute, what's happening here?
We finally agreed on
Oh my
something.
God.
Let's see what Murray, can he make it a trifecta of meh?
Well, let's see, Bryce. It was a foreign film that had subtitles.
yes.
Reggie.
But this was a good foreign film that had subtitles.
So yeah, as they said, Jim and I missed this one at the festival, though apparently Bryce did manage to catch it.
I did.
Since there was practically nothing else playing over the weekend, Jim and I checked it out. I'm glad he was there, and we were the only ones in the theater.
Yeah, we were.
Because
screening.
I didn't get most of the symbolism. What was the deal with the dog?
We'll talk about that.
And had to have it explained to me. That's not usually a good sign.
Yeah, but
There was some potential for action and danger, but that didn't really deliver. I kept waiting for something bad to happen. I mean, the guy worked for a gangster.
it did happen
One
at the
who
end.
ran a prostitution and human trafficking ring. And he was dating the daughter of a high-ranking politician who was rich. Like, something bad should have happened there.
It did.
In the end, it was basically a Romeo and Juliet story with a confusing ending that Jim had to explain to me. Visuals were cool. It was nice to see parts of Sarajevo. But yeah, it's just a meh.
What?
Meh, meh, meh.
Yeah, yeah. For the only time we...
I wanna unpack some of that because I found it was one of those films. It's so sprinkled through the entire film, the whole Little Red Riding theme, with the wolves and the dogs, and the fact that she sees him as the wolf at the beginning, and the wolf symbolism, and they're always looking for the dog. And then when we get to the end, when she finds the puppies, it was like, it takes you through that journey, which was done really, really well. I really wanted to love this film.
There's a lot.
There's a lot in here
to
in this to see. I also liked the fact that the ending part, I don't want to kind of spoil it, but I kind of want to spoil it, but I don't want to spoil it because at the end, he's missing. And I'm kind of interested for people who see this. If you're listening to our podcast, let us know what you think. We're going to talk about this offline, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. So it gives you a whole week to watch this movie, and then we'll maybe talk about some spoilers. Because I thought it was done really well. I thought the ending was almost perfect.
Yep.
Murray's like, no, because I had to explain it to him.
It was 90 minutes. That was perfect about it.
It was kind of perfect. It was 90 minutes.
Yes, it was.
And just like the joy in our hearts, we all gave it a meh.
Yes, we did.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Sweet, sweet, sweet rage. My rage this week, still Putin, but in addition to Putin, I'm going to rage the fact that Channing Tatum's not in any dramatic roles. That's my rage this week. After seeing him again, I'm kind of falling in love with Channing Tatum. That's what I want to say. I love him. I want him to be in more dramas, or at least a full drama. All out, 100% drama. Because I think he's got the chops.
You think he has the chops for that?
I know he has the chops. After seeing the scenes of him and Dog that were so dramatic,
Yep.
I think he's really got the chops. And he's not just a body and a beautiful face. Although those are also pretty good. He's also a good actor.
I'm just a body and a beautiful face.
It's true. And sweet, sweet ass. Don't forget that.
You know it.
That's my rage.
Okay. He's warming up his rage, folks.
Okay. My rage this week is Dune winning Best Original Score and Best Sound at the Academy Awards. How can 3 hours of
Yes. Who called it? Oh, sorry.
get an award for anything? It gets the award for me for the worst sound in the history of cinema. 3 hours of
Yes.
That is my rage.
You know, if I actually cared about the Oscars, I would be even that much more excited. Although I did say it was fantastic.
And they won
I apologize
like
to anybody that was listening to this with like loud volume there. But
there you go. You just ruined hearing.
That is what Dune was for
You
3
need to watch
hours.
Dune again because it's not all
eight
that.
awards. They won every award.
It's not.
Yeah,
They won every
It
award
isn't.
except acting. So
It should win. It should have won Best Film.
It won
It
like
should
10
have won.
freaking
No.
awards.
Well, no, actually,
No.
Flea should have won it, but it wasn't even nominated. So.
Yes. So there you go.
Alright.
That is
was
my
it?
rage.
Okay then.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
Are you gonna get this down to at least 2 minutes?
No, not in the least.
Bryce, make sure you hit the pause button on the recording when Murray gets past 5 minutes.
Well, you both knew it was coming.
Yeah, we knew.
This weekend was the award show of all award shows,
Yeah,
the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Bryce already talked about it.
yeah.
Oh,
Why'd you
don't
open
worry.
that door?
You're gonna
Don't
like.
worry.
You're gonna like this.
I don't think I
no
You
go
may
anyways.
enjoy this.
I don't think
This
so.
week's Many Minutes is called "Things I Hated About This Year's Oscar."
What? This is. Wait, hold on a minute. This could be the best Merman Minute ever.
Yeah, if you let me get a word in, yes. Growing up, I never really cared about movies. Like, I was a TV junkie. Still am, I
Still
guess.
is, yep.
I had only one tiny theater in my hometown, which recently burned down. Had a drive-in, but usually fell asleep in the back seat.
having
movies
sex.
like Gandhi. I was 4.
Oh,
And movies like Gandhi and Out of Africa winning, no wonder. Now I make my living in the
good
film
movies.
industry. Doesn't mean I love everything that comes out. And once again, a movie I've never seen nor care anything about won Best Picture.
I saw
In fact,
it's good.
for the
Very
last 7 years, I haven't liked the best movie of the year.
Murray, you'd like this movie.
Birdman in 2015 was the last one that I actually enjoyed. I may not be ready to join you guys on the I don't believe in award shows mantra, but I am probably done with the Oscars.
Yes!
Here is why.
All right.
First off, Beyonce.
Okay.
It was bad enough when Queen Bee performed every single Best Song nominee a few years ago.
That was bad.
Even movies she
hear.
had nothing to do with. This year, they cut the live presentation of 8 awards. Yet they had time for an 8-minute opening of Beyonce's freaking number. Like, every person who was nominated worked hard on these films. Yet they didn't get any stage time. Film editing, sound, makeup, hairstyling, production design, music score. Just try having a film without any of these. Not to mention the short film categories, which also got ignored.
Murray,
And
you're proving our point.
And I hate Beyonce. There, I said it.
What? The Beyonce?
The Beyonce.
No.
Next up, people who don't belong at a movie award show.
Oh.
This list is long and distinguished, but as Slider would say, so's my Johnson.
Wow.
That's a Top Gun reference for y'all.
Ugh.
Tony Hawk, Kelly Slater, Shaun White. A skateboarder, a surfer, and a snowboarder. 3 guys who have never made a movie. Yet they did some half-ass Bond tribute. Sean P. Diddy Combs introducing the 50th anniversary of The Godfather? What the hell? And the cast of White Men Can't Jump. Wesley Snipes, Rosie Perez, and Woody Harrelson. 3 people who have never won nor will ever win an Oscar.
What?
Nah,
Woody could.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
I want to add Reba McEntire and Billie Eilish too, but at least they performed. Don't even get me started on DJ Khaled and his incoherent screaming. And Lady Gaga presented the final award of the night for Best Picture.
What? I love
Lady
Gaga.
That sounds good.
Freaking Gaga.
I like her.
What am I watching, the Grammys now?
What? Murray,
But
she's an actress.
Whatever.
She was in House of Gucci.
She's not only an actress, a fantastic actress.
He doesn't like Lady
You
Gaga.
wonder why I
either.
can't get it under 4 minutes, because you guys keep interrupting me. Next up, it's the sexual double standard.
Uh-oh.
Remember the Me Too movement?
Yes.
How could you not? Well, Regina King and the producers of the Oscars must have missed it. 2 examples. Regina called up a list of men who had to get retested for COVID. Basically a list of men she drools over. And she physically gropes Josh Brolin on national TV as she pats him down. Oh, and she also announced to everyone that she was single. Good one. Speaking of bad taste, Tiffany Haddish.
Ooh, the Hadster.
Yeah, I know. You guys like her.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
She presented Best International Film with Simu Liu, a category she has no business being anywhere near. She also makes fun of Canadians, flirts with Simu, and generally acts like a jackass. A complete insult to the nominees and the eventual winner, Drive My Car. It was
Did Drive My Car win
yes,
something?
it was inappropriate. It was inappropriate.
Nice.
The 3 Oscar hosts. Once again, this year's show went 40 minutes over, despite cutting all those award presentations. But they had time for a 10-minute Academy Museum segment and a lot of unfunny bits by the 3 hosts.
Oh my God.
I admit I chuckled a few times, but most of it fell flat and it wasn't needed. Finally, the slap that was heard around the world. Chris Rock, one of the worst Oscar hosts ever, insulted Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett, by referring to her as G.I. Jane 2 because she was bald. Smith walked up to the stage and slapped him, and then started to curse him out. As someone who's seen plenty of action movies, it looked as if it was staged, but apparently it wasn't. Then they cut 5 minutes of audio because of all the swearing. Let's not forget, Mrs. Smith made a big deal about boycotting the Oscars a few years ago just because her husband wasn't nominated. And what the hell has she ever done worthy of Oscar praise? Different world?
I don't know you want to be going down this road.
I
There.
guess the important thing is Will Smith finally won an Oscar, which he should have won 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But after
he might have been justified.
40 years, he's still a punk-ass kid from Philly.
Oh, Murray.
Now maybe Jada can shut the hell up.
Oh, Murray, no.
As a
no.
personal note, I ran a highly successful Oscar pool for 15 years at work, and the Oscar used to be one of my favorite nights of the year. This year I went to an Oscar party, sat by myself, ate terrible food, and had a miserable time. Guess I should have stayed home and watched TV. That's all I got.
I'm on side with Murray here for Will Smith. That's
Yes,
not unacceptable.
absolutely. It was unacceptable.
Okay.
He's not a kid.
Do we really want to do this?
Why not?
I'm
Murray
good.
opened the door. Let's do
I'm
it.
not the only one who thinks that.
So, Jada Pinkett Smith, who has alopecia.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
We all know that.
I'm not
Okay.
saying it was right for to insult her.
No,
I'm just saying
he was wrong.
He was
What?
wrong to punch the guy. No,
And-
Chris Rock was tasteless,
He slapped him. But the fact that that on a night where she has literally made herself up to look as good as she could possibly look, and she looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And for him to make that joke, when I don't blame Will Smith for reacting the way we did. Now, what I do blame is all the security that's supposed to be at this thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have ever happened, because somebody should have grabbed him
Yes.
before he got up onto the stage.
It's true.
But the fact that
There's no justification for abuse,
No,
though, Bryce.
ever.
it
There's
wasn't,
not.
Ever.
it wasn't. No. It was a slap.
Yeah, but still, there's no excuse for it.
No, there isn't.
If you cannot control your anger where you have to hit somebody,
Yes.
that is like he could if Chris Rock, as much as Chris Rock was a dick,
Yeah.
if he pressed charges, Will Smith would. They have it on national television.
they do.
He would have went to prison for
And
assault.
As a side note, the Academy, like the producers of the show, asked him to leave after that happened, and he refused.
Yeah.
The producers wanted him out of the building. Then an hour later, he goes up there and starts preaching about peace and love. And he starts bawling like a baby when he won the award. That to me is hypocritical.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree to the fact that Chris Rock was tasteless.
Yes.
And that Will Smith had a good reason to be upset.
Yep.
But there's never I'm never going to admit that he has the right to slap anybody.
And I'm not saying that, but it never should have got to that because it should be on the Academy.
That's more of what your point is that
Did they
the
write
Academy
his joke?
allowed it to happen.
They probably didn't write his joke.
They see this guy walking up to the stage and they're just going to let him go up there?
Yeah.
He knew he didn't have anything good in his heart at that moment.
Exactly. So this never should have happened. It was an emotional night.
It was. Ultimately, the true story of this is that the Oscars are a waste of time. They have been the entire time. They 90% get it wrong, and the whole Academy is a joke.
I used to enjoy it. It used to be a very, very tasteful and elegant night, and it has the last 20 years it hasn't been.
If you can have people in the Academy who don't even have to watch the movie to make a vote whether or not it's good, it is the whole position of it is a joke. No, and this just kind of
it was an MTV award. That's what whoever produced the Oscars this year basically it looked like an MTV award.
What's the?
That's usually where fights break out.
What's the award show where they used to slime people? That's what they need to bring back to the Oscars. Yeah. That's what they really need. They could slime people, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of rage this week because of that.
Apparently,
it wasn't just Will Smith; it was the whole thing because it was something I loved. Something I loved for most of my life.
Hopefully, you can join us in our hatred of the award shows.
But they need a different producer. They need someone who actually has some respect for Hollywood. This guy obviously didn't. He treated it like a freaking MTV award show.
It was,
live DJs.
I'm glad I haven't seen it in like 7 years.
Anyway,
I didn't see a second of it this year. So
yep.
I woke up the next morning, saw the winners, said, I wasn't happy with any of them, to be honest. They were all fine.
Well, the nominees were all good. So.
The only thing that shouldn't have happened is, Flea should have won for something. That was that should have been your rage this week. Encanto won for Best Animated Feature over Flea.
Yeah, well,
and a Bond movie won for Best
because I didn't
Song.
Read them and I didn't care because I already gave the most important award of this year out when I gave Flea the best movie.
You did indeed.
So that's that. The lists. So, Trial of Chicago 7. It's a little bit of an unfair fight this week, I think, because we didn't get a lot of John Carroll Lynch in this.
No, but we did get one
scene that he was good. Yep.
Where where he decks the.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of Mark Rylance.
We did. And
unfortunately,
and the one scene where they're kind of chatting with each other when they're all in that group here, and he says to David Dellinger, he says, "You sat out World War II? Even I want to punch you in the face."
I know. Okay,
that was like a knockout right there.
You know who I'm picking.
You know who I'm picking.
Right down to it.
You're picking Mark Rylance also.
I am.
All right.
Of course. How can you not?
Well, unfortunately,
I feel
that means bad for John Carroll Lynch.
Yeah, who is so good in everything. Like, I have never seen him in anything
and not
where he wasn't fantastic. And even in this, he was fantastic, but
he
ran into a freight train with Mark Rylance.
Mark Rylance. And lucky for us, we put him on last week.
And I'll admit
wasn't even the best thing about the movie.
Yeah, and I'll admit that that watching this movie for a second time, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
I think so too, actually. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't. I know we both gave it Maz when we first saw it.
I'd almost changed my. Now that I've watched it again, it was a Mondo.
This was the first time you saw it, though, Mur, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, of course I did.
What would you give it?
I don't know if I give it a Mondo. It's pretty close. I mean, like I told you, I've been fascinated by the 60s pretty much all my life. Like, I was born in 1971 and just...
It's the free love, isn't it?
Well, it was just the Vietnam and the protesting and everything, the whole decade.
But ultimately, it was the free love.
69 was like the where everything came to a head. But I mean, yeah, it was a very turbulent decade. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And I have to actually admit it, Sacha Baron Cohen, probably my favorate movie he's ever been in.
What? This is so good.
He was very good.
I
He's
don't
great
like
in
him
everything
much.
he does.
I don't like him
No.
much.
Everything.
No, not
Absolutely everything.
But he was very good in this.
And it's a good thing that he's not on the Mesmerized list, or we might have lost Mark Rylance too.
Oh no, Mark Rylance over Sacha in this? No way, Mark Rylance.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that because I'm glad Mark Rylance is finally.
I probably would have.
So this is the first person.
Sasha.
This is the first time we've had a knockout. We need a sound effect for a knock.
We needed a fight bell, which I asked for numerous
Bing,
times.
bing, bing, bing. Well, Bryce is working on that. He's
Apparently.
making lots of money,
Yeah.
and then
Is
he's
he?
going to buy us an
A
add-on.
new soundboard.
Or if anybody's listening, just go on our Buy Me a Coffee and buy us some coffee. Well,
Buy
buy
us
some
a
movie
soundboard?
rental, and we need a soundboard so we can have some
Yeah. Okay.
ring bells and some punching sounds. All right. Well, last week we forgot that we had given Bryce an assignment. It kind of
did.
fell by the
It was
wayside.
2 weeks.
And so Bryce was supposed to see a Julia Stiles movie to see if she is doubted or not.
Right.
What's the story, Captain John?
To your disappointment, I am sure Julia Stiles is safe. The God Committee was meh, and so was Hustlers.
Damn it.
So that is back-to-back mehs, and they are her last 2 movies. So she is not only safe, but
She's
she's
safe for
at
a
least
long
her
time.
next 6 films. And right now, she's averaging about 1 film a year. So I guess you can nominate her again in about 6 years, but until then,
Well, I tried to also
She's
get
safe.
her on the repulsive list, but you wouldn't bite that one.
Which she is not.
And I think Murray and I would agree she is.
But actually, the God Committee was pretty good. Probably the best Kelsey, not that this says much, but probably the best Kelsey
Kelsey
Grammer
Grammer?
movie I've ever seen.
Oh, wow. That is saying much. That's okay. So maybe we should talk about Kelsey Grammer
Yeah, maybe.
because he picks some bad stuff.
Yeah,
He has
I mean,
Bruce Willis syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, this is meh, but I don't know what, I have no idea what he's been in lately. So.
I mean, it's different. Murray, we're not talking about Fraser because that's a good TV show.
I'm talking about his movies.
We're talking about his movies, which I don't know.
I would say no.
He's picked some pretty bad stuff.
I've enjoyed his movies.
But it's one of those cases
You've
where-
enjoyed his movies?
Yes.
What are you talking
I enjoy
about?
it.
Yeah, what
Movies.
are you talking about?
You got sometimes, you can't always be joking there. Murray.
Not joking.
Sometimes you got to be
I'm serious.
serious.
I like Kelsey Grammer. I think he's a good actor.
But have you actually seen
Yes.
a lot of his movies?
Not every one in the last 10 years, but I've seen enough.
His last movie was Miss Willoughby and the Haunted Bookshop. Even the name deserves a reach. Father Christmas is Back.
I saw that.
It was awful.
I liked it.
Did you give it a Mondo?
The problem is
I
that's
didn't give it a
another one
Mondo.
that was just a Netflix. Like, I don't even know what our rules are anymore. I'm confused by it all. But
If,
that did not get a theatrical.
if a movie that's
release on
streamed on, what the hell did it stream on? Apple
Apple.
can win the best picture, then we can watch movies on Netflix.
He's
Yes,
got a point
but-
there.
But that movie was, if not, it was. It
Then
was,
why didn't it not
It
get
has
released
to,
in the theaters then?
it has to be released in a theater somewhere.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
It
just
wasn't.
didn't get
It
it.
wasn't, so
We just
whatever.
didn't get it.
No. And Kelsey Grammer is also in the X-Men series. I enjoyed him in that.
Did you?
Yeah, that's a long time ago, though.
No, saying. So I haven't
That's
seen
a
everything
long
he's in,
time
but
ago.
even his name pops up, I'm more apt to actually watch it.
long time ago.
Do you remember seeing Neighbors 2?
Yes, I saw Neighbors 2. Was he in that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
He was Shelby's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I've never seen it. I
And he
didn't
was
see
in the
first one.
movie Baby,
He was in Money Plane.
and Money Plane, which was so bad.
You should have seen Money Play. It's got what's his head in it?
I don't see every. Like I said, I'm a
You
TV
gave that a meh, though.
I'm a TV
Yeah.
junkie. I watch TV.
I think that's got Canadian wrestler. What's his name?
Jericho.
No,
I don't know.
Edge.
Oh,
Stuart something or other. Copeland. Just like the
Nice.
police drummer.
nice try. It's Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland.
It's still a Copeland.
There we go.
Can
so
he
he's
play-
not like
Can
the
he
police
play
drummer.
drums, though? Maybe he can
Oh,
still
wait a
play
second.
drums.
It's a bass. No, what the? No, Andy Summers, the drummer, isn't he? I don't even know.
What the hell are you
It's
talking
one of
about?
he's one of the Police.
What are you
There's
talking
3 of
about
them.
here?
One of them drums.
Stuart Copeland is the guitar player, I think.
He's a guitar player. So
Yeah.
Andy Summers, the drummer.
I think so.
No, you're just...
But now we got off track. Speaking of drummers, though,
Yes.
we have to say a sad farewell to our drummer from the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
So,
that was a bit of a.
it's a bit of a shock,
surprise,
especially
yeah.
seeing a horror movie with him.
I got to admit, over the does anybody know why he died at this point?
That was an overdose.
It was an overdose?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying that over the last 10 years, he looked super young up until maybe about 6 or
Yeah.
7 years ago, and he
Yeah.
has aged dramatically. In the
That's
last,
what drugs,
and that
I guess, does to
That
you,
must
right?
be what it was, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mur. So you've got, I think he has an assignment for us next week.
You really want to go there, do you?
Yes, we do.
I will just remind you,
Yes.
Christopher Walken, not the last 2 movies, 2 movies before that, you guys didn't like very much.
Right.
What does
What
that
does
have to do with
anything?
what does that have to do with
Doesn't
price
have
of
to-
tea in China?
Doesn't he have to...
No, he's
No, he's
mesmerizing.
He's mesmerizing. It doesn't matter
He's
if we
not
like the
Doesn't
undoubted.
movies.
matter?
He's
All right.
mesmerizing always.
Because you guys hated Percy and you guys hated War with Grandpa. And that,
Yeah.
was,
Right.
that was recent.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
what that has nothing to do with anything.
It has nothing to do with mesmerizing.
All right, then.
So we
Huh?
have. Okay, let us re-explain this to you. The mesmerizing
wanna hear
list is a list where the person is mesmerizing all the time when they're on film. Doesn't matter if they're in terrible movies. Undoubted and doubted. It doesn't matter how great the actor is. It's the movies that they're in have to be
Whatever.
great or bad.
Whatever.
So mesmerizing. What do we
Yeah,
say?
I found one.
Perfect.
Father Figures from 2017.
Father, who's he up
Christopher
against?
Walken and J.K. Simmons.
Oh God.
You wanted
No.
You did want it.
it. You wanted it.
I don't want it anymore.
Too
Not
late.
too bad.
You take it, you get it.
You want Christopher Walken to knock people
Can't
off?
you find a good movie that
Nope, that's not his job. I love it. I remember hating this movie.
There you go.
This is ridiculous.
It's
Well,
great.
that's 3 crappy movies in a row he's done, yet he's still mesmerizing. So you
Yeah.
tell me.
He was in, at one time, the worst movie I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes,
Until it wasn't.
That
Until
was
it
only
wasn't.
a couple of years before that one.
Until it wasn't.
So yeah, everything I see down here, it's crap.
I love
Joe
it.
Dirt 2.
Oh, can't wait till we have to see that. Who's he up against in that one?
There's no one
I
else
don't
in
know.
that though.
I'm just saying, this is the movies he's done the last 20 years.
I know he's done some crap in the last.
He's
20
done
years.
mostly crap.
It's been mostly crap.
Whatever.
He's-
That has nothing to
He's
do
got
with
the
what
Bruce
we're talking
Willis.
about right
He's
now.
got Bruce Willis syndrome.
You go crazy. Then.
He's got Bruce Willis syndrome.
I'll keep putting him up in movies he's in. You
and
guys
we'll knock him out of the park.
But you can still pick a movie from like the 90s or the 80s when he made good movies.
he wants to torture you,
There must be
Bryce.
some
Bryce, did you
mesmerized
not? Did you
actors.
not pick up that he is trying to torture you?
Yeah, but don't.
Well, yeah,
Just
that's his
be
job.
nice.
And you pick movies.
No.
I'll
It's-
stop picking.
This
You
is
can
called
pick.
film rage. This is the best day of my life right now. Murray is delivering on all fronts.
I'm just angry now.
He gave us so much rage from the Oscars. It's just gotten better.
All right, last time on Rage or Dare, Jim was too afraid of Bryce's bag to pull from it, so he chose to take the action-packed double team from the Dare bag from our Ragers. This week, the boys are back to double teaming the Dare bag, or can they take a scoop of delicious ice cream bag of goodness from mine? Let's check in with Jim and see how many minutes it took John Claude to do the splits, or whether Dennis Rodman joined him in the splits, or he just keep doing what he does best, being awesome. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rodman's pretty awesome.
Denise Rodman is fantastic.
It's Rodman.
I don't know what god or devil dreamed up the combo of Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Match
but
made
I
in
am
heaven.
now praying to them both to make a sequel happen as soon as can be. This film is the epitome of good bad, with cheesy lines, terrible action, car explosions, CGI, a story that's nonsensical, and a competition in who's the worst actor in this car wreck of a movie. And I mean car wreck. The story, plot, whatever you want to call it, was so badly patched. I mean, edited through every scene did not make one sense to the next scene. So yeah, it was really bad, but neither did the dialogue, so it really didn't matter. It's truly horrifically comedic. Nothing made sense to the movie in the film to move forward, either the film or plot or whatever you want to call it. I'm not really sure, but then again, who cares? Jean-Claude was there to save the day, and as he had to come out of retirement, as he was the only one who could get the job done, no matter what it was that had to be done, and get it done, he did.
Absolutely. That's what he does.
And to my sheer pleasure, a lot of time in slow motion.
Yes.
So slow and kung fu-y, like high kicks.
Yep.
And at 34 minutes and 50 seconds into the movie, he finally did the splits.
Nice.
And I almost lost my mind with sheer Van Dangasm,
Yes.
as I want to call it. I lost track of why and what was happening. As long as Jean-Claude was on screen, I was happy. And the only sad thing was Dennis Rodman does only appear for a very short amount of time at the beginning and then shows up a little bit later in the film to double team the bad guy.
Nice.
Which made completely no sense. Why? But the
cares?
fact that they parachuted out of the plane on a giant basketball
Awesome.
was enough one-on-one action in this double team.
Yes.
Must be said, the lifting of the iron bathtub with Jean-Claude Van Damme's penis
Yep.
was truly the highlight of the film. For that moment alone, this should have been a Mondo. But as much as I did laugh a lot at this movie,
Yes.
it was not a Mondo.
No,
But a quite enjoyable baby rage because it was truly, truly awful. and this is the kind of movie you kind of want to see with a group, but at a minimum, double team this in cinemas with your bestie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm glad I saw it again.
Yes.
Just not glad I had to watch all of it. It's kind of like I could take 5 minutes of it. It's
You know what?
I didn't. You know what? I'm changing my rating.
It can't be.
It's not a baby rage. I had too much joy.
It's a low man.
It was a low man.
Yeah.
It was. It's truly, truly awful.
The thing about Jean-Claude Van Damme is, I'm sorry, he's kind of mesmerizing. And
It's because he's so bad.
I know, but and that's what
everything-
makes his movies so watchable.
You know the sad thing about it, and I think I maybe have admitted this before, but I'm gonna admit it now because I
Yes.
had to watch this movie. Was that when I was younger, I saw every single one of his movies. It was
Who
a thing.
didn't?
All of our friends were like, "Okay, Jean-Claude's out.
me?
We have to go see this movie." And it was a game. It was a game for us. We'd all put in money as to when he would do the splits in the movie,
Yeah.
and the person the closest to that time would take all the money.
I think I had the biggest belly laugh that I've ever had in my life in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. There's a scene at the end of, I think it's Lionheart, where all of a sudden, I think this kid thinks that Jean-Claude's gone away and he's gone forever. And then all of a sudden the camera pans up this hill and this super dramatic music starts playing, like the most dramatic music ever played in a film. And Jean-Claude Van Damme comes running back over
Slow-mo?
the hill, slow motion back to the kid. And I laughed so hard, I thought I was going to wet my pants. It was the best.
If you'd
And ever
only
since
had-
then, I haven't missed a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And
I haven't either.
and they've all been terrible, and I've loved them all.
the
No.
Van Dangasm.
I didn't like action movies in the 80s. That they were all stupid.
What?
Yes.
They were all stupid.
No, I mean, they're
But this was a
unwatchable. They're
whole nother
unwatchable.
level of stupid.
Yeah. The
which
fact
made
that
it great.
Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude, they were all the same to me. They were all the same movie.
To me, there
No.
was a hierarchy. For me, it was Arnie was on top, then Van Damme, and then Stallone was at the bottom.
Arnie made good movies. He did.
Yeah.
He made bad movies too, but he made some very good movies. Jean-Claude Van Damme just made movies that made me happy.
Because it was his splits. It was always
Well,
the
that's
splits.
part
And
of
his
it.
high kicks.
He's got some real high kicks.
He's got super kicks. All right, Murray. I think we're going to take some ice cream from you today. Give me that.
There may not be any
Give me
left.
that bucket of goodness. Is there anything in
I
there?
haven't refilled it in a while.
Is there anything?
Oh, I'm sure there's something.
A couple.
Oh, baby.
I thought you were going to pick from the other bag.
Yeah, well, we had the choice. I'm going to pick from Murray's
I
bag.
haven't gone shopping yet.
Well, you got there's a few in here.
Couple.
Be prepared, people.
What do we got?
We're going to watch a movie called Hollywood Homicide.
I know what that one
Is
is.
that
I don't
Josh
know what that
Hartnett?
is.
And Mr. Harrison Ford.
It is Josh Hartnett, isn't it? Nice. I actually remember stuff.
Wow. This
All right.
sounds terrible.
It gets 2 thumbs up from Ebert and Roper.
So it sounds terrible.
Earl Dittman of Wireless Magazine said, Hollywood Homicide will keep you on the edge of your seat with its adrenaline-pumped action.
Somehow I don't believe that.
I don't either.
How much did that cost? $1?
2.
$2 whole dollars.
$2.
I've heard it's Harrison Ford's worst movie.
Regular price, $2.
Dwight
$2.
Yoakam's in it,
Who doesn't love Yoakam?
other than,
Everybody.
well, Dwight Yoakam's all right. And
And
Martin Landau is in it.
what? The Academy Award winning Martin Landau?
That's the one.
Huh. And then wait, wasn't he in that terrible Canadian awful movie as one of his last movies? Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Nice.
I'll hand that over to you, Jim.
Ugh. I don't think we've had an episode with more rage than we've had this week. We've earned our title this week, people. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to all the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for our listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please make us rage. Please. Please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.